Hey, what is up, guys? And welcome back to another Magic the Gathering online league. We're back with Karn Eldrazi ramp on the draw for game one. Let's see here. Yes, we'll keep this, drop the Emrakul, done, and pass. Alright, so looking like Affinity at a glance. Karn is solid for this matchup. This is a turn 2 Karn. We do have to play around the Metallic Rebuke. Saga. They're holding up 3, of course. Alright, we'll use this K command as a permission spell then. Saga trigger. Citadel to end step. Cast K command. X equals 3. Do you have Metallic Rebuke? They do, as expected. This also means they won't be able to play or make a construct, which is good. Draw 2 KGC. Play KGC minus KGC. There's a very real possibility that they have Pithy Needle in main, so I'm going to go Engineered Explosives, but opponent's going to scoop, we'll take the win. Alright, on to game 2. Bring in Dismember. We can keep the Ghost Quarter, we need to keep that, so cut an Emrakul, and what else? Cut a Sire. Alright, let's run it back. Again, one of those matchups where I would have liked Bridge, but we have cut it for the Cityscape. On the draw for game 2, I'll keep another turn 2 Karn. Springleaf Drum. Draw. A Sire 7 Deaths. Cast Talisman and pass. And pass. Saga. No blue though. Draw. Dismember. Cast Karn the Great Creator. Again, minus Karn. And Bone scoops it up. And Bone scoops it up. I mean, yeah, turn 2 Karn is strong. No doubts about that. With that said, we'll be back for match 2. Alright, and we're back for match 2 on the draw for game 1. Looking at his hand, not much is redeemable about it. I'm going to mulligan. It's not bad, but it's not good either. I'll keep it though. Question then becomes what we pitch. Karn is good into combo, but returns good into aggro. K command is currently a dead card, but turned on by Soul Land or a Malevolent Rumble, us being able to cast the Myco Spawn. I'll cut the Karn here and pass. Forest. Ooh. So we need to get this Summoning Myco Spawn on the board as quickly as possible. Misty Rainforest, pass, put a pause on end step. Vesuva becomes a forest. That's desperate. Hedge Maze, trigger, Null Drifter to Yard. Draw. Talisman. I mean, there's no reason for me not to just Stomping Ground here, I think. Stomping Ground, Shock, Talisman, and pass. We now need to hold that we can get a turn so we can get Soin Mega Spawn into a Ghost Quarter. And pass. Crumbling Vestige puts him up to 4. Okay. Escape Shift. Bounce Land, T West, Lotus Field. I don't think gets them there yet, does it? Oh, but the Vesuva does. Do they have enough mana? Because they'll bounce the T West. I'll have 5 mana. Sorry, 6 mana. Oh, they just have the Titan. And Titan can be used as the bridge for the Aftermath Analyst loop. There's Hainweir. I go Hainweir here. Attack for 6. Okay. We're not out yet. We're not in a good spot either. You have 1, 4, so not enough for a Mirror Pool. I guess enough for an Otawara? Why Otawara though and not a Boseiju? You also pick up the Crumbling Vestige. T-West for a Pact. So I guess maybe they're just setting up for next turn then. Draw. Verdant Catacomb fetch. We take out a Lotus Field. It's going to make their life significantly more difficult. Forest. The problem is they'll be able to also... Well, no, they won't be able to do that. Yeah, so I think it might be right to go Bajuka Bog instead of Ghost Quarter. Because they can find the Lotus Field off of Titan. Whereas Bajuka Bog cuts out 1 Lotus Field. They still might have enough, mind you, but it's definitely going to be much more difficult to accomplish, at least. And pass. Yeah, we just need 1 more turn. Just a turn too slow, though. Even if we untap, what's the game plan thereafter? It's not like I can deal with the Titan right now is the problem. Or, there's the Lotus Field, so they have it in hand. Oh. They don't sack it though. Pact, I guess, for another Titan? They can Echoing Depths and a red source. There's the Crumbling Vestige. Becomes a Handweir. They'll haste the Titan. That's 12 down to 9. Or that's 12. So I'll have 1 life remaining as it stands. Then when they attack, if they have another Otawara, they can bounce the Sowing Mycosphere. The Sage Who Endures is fine. I do that now. Breeding Pool tapped. Triggers. Do you have a second Otawara? If you do, you win. You have another Beseiju. That's fine, though. Picks up Beseiju. Yes. For a forest. Another Beseiju. Okay. Again, we're not dead just yet. We're certainly not in a good position. I'll block. Only 2 card types in yard. Draw. Well, under normal circumstances, Mycospawn might not be bad, but it's god-awful here. We can't do anything, so I will concede. Alright, let's move to game 2. Bring in Jailer, consign the Stone Brain, and EE. Let me double check that. Amulet Titan. Traditionally, no, we don't bring in the EE. It's not necessarily a bad idea, though. Interesting. The Consigned Brain, Soulless Jailer, definitely. The Chalice is interesting, but like I said, Chalice has not been performing well when brought into main. Wonder if we bring in EE or not, though. Let's bring in these 6 to start off with. We'll cut the K return. Obviously the Gemstone. Not the Bog. An Emrakul and a Sire 7 Deaths? Yes. And run it back. On the play for game 2. Well, that's unfortunate. I'll mulligan this. Yeesh. Not much better. Mulligan again. I mean, at this point, I think we need to keep it. Drop Ugin, drop Karn, keep the rest. Stomping Grounds, tap. No reason to reveal the Ghost Quarter just yet. Pass. Mirror Pool tapped. And draw. Windswept Teeth. I mean, I'm tempted just to fetch Windswept Teeth here for a forest. At the same time, given that they have Besage You, might be best for me to fetch for a shock land. Breeding Pool, Shock, Talisman, and pass. If they have a slow hand, the Karn into Liquid Metal will be enough, I think. Gruul Turf, yeah, looking like a slow hand. Alright, draw. The Stone Brain, well, that does change a direction here. I think we do stick with Karn, though. Karn minus for Liquid Metal. And pass. Because right now I'm not entirely afraid of a Amulet of Vigor since we have the Ghost Quarter. And if I can just chew away at their... Okay, Spelunking does make this more difficult, though. We could EE for 3. Draw. Utopia Sprawl. Yeah, we could EE, that is a thought. Sprawl on Stomping Grounds for green. Liquid Metal Coating. Coating target Gruul Turf. Yikes. I'll float the Talisman. Karn plus on Gruul Turf. And we'll play the Soulless Jailer. Right now the Ghost Quarter isn't doing too much. And pass. Shifting Woodland untapped. Tri-Builder. Draw. Right now they only have 3 mana. I only have 5. That does allow me to EE to get rid of Spelunking, though. Though I can't hold up the Ghost Quarter. Minus. Yes. For Engineered Explosives. I should play Ugin Lab first. Done. And done. Crack the EE. Goodbye, Spelunking. And pass. No attacks. And pass. Next turn we can Stone Brain. Simic Growth Chamber. Yeah, we need to go for Primeval Titan at this point. Grazer. Draw. Breaker. 2. Not enough. Stone Brain. Stonebrain, target you, name Primeval Titan. Three Titans, one Aftermath Analyst. They must have pitched the fourth, yes. They play Lumra instead of Colossus, which is good for us. They still have two Besejus left is the only problem. Alright, we'll do this. We'll know one card in hand. I will Karn plus on nothing and pass. I can grab the brain next turn. Urza's Cave. Holding. Draw. Null Drifter. I am tempted to Null Drift. We need to get some more mana going. They have two cards in hand and access to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 mana. They can Urza's Cave for a T-West and put it on board, but then they need to pick it up. Scapeshift is an issue, actually. I'm going to minus Karn. Yes. I'm going to re-grab the Stonebrain or something else. We'll go Stonebrain. Stonebrain. Stonebrain target you. And I think, yeah, we need to name Scapeshift, as it gives them too many outs. Okay. I could be picking up a Seiju, but no, it's a Saga. Saga's fine. There's an Amulet of Vigor in hand, but Vigor doesn't do much as long as we have this Ghost Quarter on board. Alright. And pass. The Saga tokens will be an issue, though, that we do need to deal with. In fact, we could just Ghost Quarter it now. That might be correct. Have them draw first, and then yes, I'll Ghost Quarter the Saga. Saga down. There's Spelunking. There's the Amulet of Vigor, which leaves just the Crumbling Vestige in hand. Draw. Verdant Cat. I will evoke a Null Drifter. Verdant Catacombs. Fetch. For Forest. Malevolent Rumble. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We could Sowing Microspawn Kick, then Bajuka Bog. Not necessarily a bad idea. The alternative course being we'd play Ugin first. I'll go with the Sowing Microspawn to start. We'll plus the Karn. And pass. Shifting Woodlands would be the key for the Aftermath Analyst loop, though Jailer currently does keep that on the kibosh for now. There's a Grazer. Grazer's fine. Will they play the Crumbling Vestige? No. I mean, it's better to hold it. Draw. Another Soulish Jailer. I will plus. And kick. Actually might be worth kicking the Boseiju, funny enough. Kick the Boseiju. That way they can't bounce at the hand. And get rid of the Jailer. 2, 3, 4, 5. I'll go Ugin Lab. Imprint Breaker. ETB, cast a second Jailer, and pass. This way we can go after Spelunking. Make it into an Amulet. That's fine. There's the Crumbling Vestige. And draw. Consign to memory. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We can get rid of the Spelunking, though that doesn't do too much. We could also minus Karn and take out Boseiju, Lumra, Aftermath Analyst. Go to combat, attack a Sowing Mycospawn. Yeah, I think we just keep on stripping their threats. It's not as much of an issue now, is it? Hold up the blue. Target you. Just name Lumra, Bellow of the Woods. Because, yeah, all they have at this point is the Aftermath Analyst as well as a Saga. So we'll get rid of the Lumra. I mean, we just continue down this path until they have nothing left. Opponent concedes, we'll take the win. Alright. We'll bring back in the Gemstone Cavern and cut a Writhing Chrysalis. Run it back. I will keep. A little bit slower than I'd like, but we can make it work. Saga, Amulets. We need to get the Ghost Quarter as quickly as possible. Imprint, Drifter, Talisman, and pass. Yeah, as much as I would like to be able to command and then cast Mycospawn, we could be a turn late. So we will need to Sowing Mycospawn into a Ghost Quarter. Eldrazi Temple. Is there any reason to play the Temple? No reason not to either, I suppose. Temple. Cast Mycospawn, no kick. For Ghost Quarter. Hold up Ghost Quarter. So now they need a Spelunking to play around the quarter, otherwise we get a turn at the very least. Saga trigger for another Amulet. You have 2, meaning that if you have a bounce land, then you'll have 6. If you have a Lotus, we lose. Shit. Yep. Sack both. Do you have the Aftermath Analyst? You have the Titan. Okay. Titan can be used as a bridge, though. They need to besiege you to hit the Ghost Quarter, right? But they need to haste the Titan as well. Lotus Field Mirror Pool. I mean, we just cut off the Mirror Pool now, then. Before they even untap. Yes. We'll pass. I mean, them getting a copy is not really an option. If they have a second Titan, we're just SOL. They have the... whatchamacallit? Aftermath Analyst or SOL, so it doesn't really matter one way or another, does it? Spelunking to draw a card. Hopefully this is a desperation play. They have something. What? Force. Force is fine. Okay, we're not dead yet. Keywords, of course. Consigned to memory. Interesting. Alright, well in that case, we'll play the Wooded Foothills. And I will pass. No attacks, of course. If all they do is attack and we consign it, we're not in a bad position. Go to combat. Trigger. Fetch a Wooded Foothill. Breeding Pool. Shock. And consign to memory. Not ideal, but it does work. Down to 10. Draw. Bajukabog. Bajukabog does get rid of both Lotus, which means that the Aftermath Analyst play is no longer online. Interesting. I'm gonna have to... I guess I don't have to block next turn, but Bajukabog, target you now. Because that's both Lotus Fields gone, which is good. Mirror Pool gone, which is good. That does change their overall game plan. We'll hold up the command x equals 3. I mean, I'm not going to block, I don't think, but also attacking doesn't seem right either, as it does take away our option to survive. I'll pass. You could X2 to try and find another consign, I suppose. I mean, it's not the strangest play in the world. It's desperate, don't get me wrong. But I think we go for it. No dice there. We do have Breaker and Rumble. Is Breaker enough right now is the question. I don't think so. I think we'll Rumble. Maybe find an Emrakul. At this point we'll pass. T-West, Simic Growth. Bounces the T-West. We'll take the 6 down to 4. Again, I'm not dead yet. Razor. Floating the blue. Simic Growth. So they'll be able to play another Titan then. Yes, because they'll have 2 left over into 4 for Titan. Yes. T-West. Summoner's Pact. You need to make sure you'll have enough mana for the pact, though, which is an interesting thought. Now, kind of regretting not grabbing that. Whatchamacallit? Grabbing that World Breaker. Interesting. Lumra. T-West and Saga. Wait, they don't have enough green, right? Yeah, they don't have enough green. Hold up. Well, I will play Saga. Well, not Saga, Rumble. Ugin, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Ugin, Eye of the Storms. 1, 2, 3, 6, yes, 7. No imprint. Ugin. Ugin target Titan. I'll block the Lumra all day. Plus Ugin draw, gain 3. There's an Emrakul. But again, I raise the question, they don't have enough to pay for Pact, right? No. Yeah, they need to grab a Titan. I'll take it. Alright. Well, we're able to get there in the end. With that said, we'll be back for match 3. Alright, enter back for match 3 on the play for game 1. A bit slow, but we'll keep it. Play Wooded Foothill, pass, but a pause on end step. We'll want to fetch most likely for as Stomping Grounds, just so we have access to K return. They also have their own Windswept Teeth. Forest. Talisman, pass. It resolves. Fetching of a Windswept Teeth for what? Could take this Archive. Could be Goryo's, could be Control, could be a few things. Let's see if they give us a hint. What? Huh. It's been a hot minute since I've seen that card. I'm concerned. Was this freaking Tassiker? What am I... Okay, well, this becomes interesting now. What in the fresh hell am I playing against? Oh. Fascinating. Passeju. So 3 colors. Hooting Mandrills. And I don't feel like I'm going to be able to suss out what the hell this is. Oh, it's Neoform. Son of a... Yeah. Uh-huh. Grizzlebrand. Or rather, sorry, Neobrand. That's likely a loss for game 1. We'll let them play... Wait, what? Fascinating. Am I not dead? I guess it's not the version with the OTK. Play Cavernous Souls, name Eldrazi. Utopia Sprawl for red. KGC isn't going to do much here. To be fair, I don't think much will do much here, but might as well give it a try. Hold up Chrysalis. Fetch down the 11. Forest. Draw 7 down to 4. Okay. You can push back up to 12 when you attack. Do we block? Is there any point in blocking? I don't think so. I'll take the 8 down to 11. They go up to 12. Huh. We have access to 2, 4, 6, 7, 8 mana. What would help me right now? I guess an Emrakul. Try and get them to deck themselves. At least go to clean up and pitch everything but lands. Eight, 9. We're short. Pact. Okay. Pact resolves for what? Terastodon? Wait, what? Eldritch Evolution. Huh? Huh? Oh. Okay, but how are you going to pay for the pack trigger? Unless I die here? Coma. Terastodon. And a Troxa. I am so lost at this point. Yep, those things sure do become elephants. There's the consign to memory. Okay. So if I can find a way to deal with their archive, I don't think I have a clean way of doing so. If I still, funny enough, I still had the mana. If they didn't have the Terastodon, we could have went for a Chalice. Chalice on 1 would have stopped their consign. That's really funny. Actually, no, it wouldn't, because then they could just replicate. Ugh, right. I guess Trinisphere. No, they just pay for 3. I guess we had 8 mana, so we could have went Stonebrain for consign. Yeah. Huh. Well, that Terastodon definitely hurt me. I could play Karn. They do nothing, though. So we concede. Alright. Well, that sure was something. The question is how we even sideboard here. Consign does nothing. Dismember does nothing because we have no window to cast it. We'd have to Chalice on 2, which would require specifically Lab, Talisman, or double Lab. But I think this is one of the rare instances where like you really don't have much more interaction because nothing else impacts this deck short of the Stone Brain. Trinisphere, which delays them a turn, and then Chalice. So cut the Gemstone, cut the Bog, cut an Emrakul. No, I guess we can keep an Emrakul and just cut the Sires. Oh no, we can, hold up. We can cut the K returns. They truly do nothing. So I guess bring back in the Bojuka Bog. I'm not sure if Bojuka Bog is relevant here either. I'll just keep the Gemstone. Alright. Sure. Yeah, okay. Let's go to game 2. Yeah, short of having access to, like, Warping Whale, it's really difficult to interact with Grizzlebrand in a meaningful way. On the play for game 2, this hand does nothing. Well, mulligan. If they don't have the lands. The question is what we pitch. I'll pitch a Sire 7 Deaths. Hedge Maze. Drifter to Yard. And if they don't win on 2, we can at least slow them down on 3. Draw. Rumble. Stomping Ground Shock. Rumble. The Stone Brain. Yeah, that's probably correct. We don't draw into the land, then we have the Trinisphere. And pass. Alright, do they have the turn to win? 'Tis the question. Or are we a turn too slow? I don't think they have a way to deal with my spawn, so I think I'm safe there. Windswept Heath, fetch for a Surveil land. Yep, there's the Archive. Keeps it on top. Bolt. Yeah, they have it. Damn. Allosaurus Rider. Birthing Rip. That's not much better. Does it say cast? May put. Well, shoot. That is by no means better. Temple. So, I mean, I could Stonebrain. We could Trinisphere. 7 mana, though. I could Null Drift. Well, now I kind of wish I had Dismember. I mean, of course they could just whiff again. We could just go Stonebrain named Grizzlebrand and hope for the best. Alright. There's a Disciple of Freyalise, a Pact, and Eldritch Evolution. So they have the Eldritch Evolution next turn, which is the problem. Which means they'll Pact, yeah. So I think we lose regardless then. Oh, shit. Pass. Yeah, because if they just go Disciple Bolt, Pact for Gulta, or Pact for Terastodon, and then Evolution for Gulta, don't they just win? Because then they'll make my 3 lands into elephants. Hit for 4. Second main. Evolution. Atraxa. Not sure it really matters if I know what's in the hand at this point. Choose Terastodon, Consign Misty. Okay, and Neoform too. No Birthing Writ. Worldbreaker's nice in theory, but in execution not so much. I suppose that the Trinisphere at least means that they can't cast Pact for free. Trinisphere, pass. I don't know, it's much better because then we're just going to die to Atraxa. Yeah. They'll attack for 7. They can hold up Consign, which means I can't interact. I mean, if we just Kozak's command last turn for an X=2, would that have mattered? No, I think this was a losing battle from the start. Neoform. There's Gulta, which brings in the Terastodon. Which means I now will lose. Yeah, we're just gonna concede then. Yeah, I do not think there was much for me to do, unfortunately. But sometimes there are simply matchups like that, and I think Neobrand is definitely on the fringes, but yeah, interacting with this deck is quite a tall order. That said, we'll be back for match 4. Alright, and we're back for match 4 on the play for game 1. I'm gonna mulligan this. This is better. I'll keep Pitch a Lab. Keep Pitch Lab. We'll play Lab, Tuck Drifter. And if nothing else, we'll play Rumble on 2. This way, if we find a Sowing Mica Spawn, we can kick on 3. Otherwise, we can always then cast Karn on 3. Hold up in case it's relevant. Which Blessed Meadow would suggest this is probably Blink. Burning Catacombs, fetch. We don't know if they play White Orchid Phantomane, but I'm going to go Stomping Ground, Shock, and Malevolent Rumble. We'll go Writhing Chris. Though, actually, I have no way to cast you, do I? Awkward. Talisman of Impulse it is, then. And pass. So it's looking like next turn we'll play Karn. Shock with the Godless Shrine, 4. They do play White Orchid Main. This might mean it's the non-Ketra version. Forest. Draw. No reason to play Temples. We're going to play Sanctum instead. Karn. Do we minus Karn is the next question. If we don't, what else would we grab is the follow-up. Of course, there's EE for 2. Liquid Metal Coating's cute, but we're going to get back down to 1. We could plus up to 2. We take a land with us, which is fine. There's Trinisphere to tax them. That's not great either. Could go Brain. Could go Tormod's Crypt. Chalice on 1 is kind of interesting. Oh, let's take out a land at the very least, if nothing else. I'll go Liquid Metal Coating and pass. And pass. Marsh Flats, Aether Vial, which they won't be able to do anything with. I kind of do wish I went with EE. Draw. Mycospawn. Now, Mycospawn will not be able to do anything to save Karn, unfortunately. But we can get rid of a land. So in Mycospawn, kick the Witch Blast in case they wanted to flicker that. I will grab another Temple or a Hedge Maze. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I do want to set up my next draw. Let's go Hedge Maze, trigger, Emrakul top, resolve, Karn tick up on nothing, and pass. Fatal Push. Or not. Fetch down to 16. Shadowy Backstreet. Fatal Push. So Karn down, which will add another type to Yard. Aether Vial tick up to 1. Verge. So 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So even if they were... well, if they get rid of the Temple, we actually can't search. Thankfully, we don't have to worry. Question of the day, do you have a Solitude? 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So we can play the Liquid Metal. Not Liquid Metal, sorry, the Talisman of Curiosity. Into Emrakul. Trigger the Sanctum of Ugin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yes. You could in fact go with another Emrakul. I think I'll go with a Null Drifter though, so we can draw some cards. Alright, friend. Our turn, comrade. You have a Solitude. 2 for Felia. Trawler and Witch Enchanter. Trigger on the stack. I'm going to say no. Draw. Emperor Bones. Emperor Bones is kind of awkward too, actually. Well, I can reset Aether Vial Felia, which is relevant. Actually, how do you read? An opponent controls, of course. Main. I will play Witch Enchanter Bolt. Yes. Cast Bog. Target you to retain my own. I guess I should have done that after I attacked with Felia, so a bit of a missequence there on my part. Destroy up to one target non-basic land. So in that case, we attack with Felia. Flicker White Orchid Phantom. Block Felia. Again, should have sequenced that a little bit differently. Go to end step, Felia trigger on the stack. White Orchid Phantom. I'll target the Witch Blast. And I will use the ability just to look and then fail to find. It still runs a couple of Ketramos, interestingly enough, but we'll be done. And then pass. Vial up to 2. We know Emperor Bones is in hand. Fetch with the Marsh Flats. There's Emperor Bones. Bones trigger. Guess they could grab the Writhing Chrysalis as a blocker. Otherwise, I guess they could Felia and flicker the Emrakul. But is that worth it? I mean, you'd be dead on board if that's the case. This is fine. I'm confused by that line. Why do that? You needed the White Orchid Phantom back at the very least, right? Yeah. Alright. Well, I'll take the win. This version still does run Ketramos, or at least this list does, so we still do want to cut Bog. We can sign in, dismember in. And then just run it like that. Well, I guess actually here's the thing. This version runs the Aether Vials, so Karn is relevant is the problem now. So is Worldbreaker. Cut the Sire. We cut 2 Chrysalis. Maybe run it like this. Yeah, let's run it like this then. Definitely a little bit more awkward with the split. Gemstone's good, Dismember's good, we'll keep this. Question is what we exile to Gemstone. I think we exile the Sullied Mycospawn, as strange as that is. Our hand is very reactive though. That's the only downside. Actually, I should hold. Pass. Draw. Lab. Imprint. Pass. Hold. Yeah, a moment like this is where it would have been good for me to have that Mycospawn. Shock. That's Ophelia that they're holding then. Draw. K return. Lab. No imprint. Pass. Let's see the Ophelia. I will K return here, and the reason being is I want to hold up this Dismember for a Ketra. And pass. And pass. White Orchid Phantom would be rough here, though. Fetch. Plains. Yeah. What do you hit? Yeah, I mean, that's right. I wanted to play around the possibility of a EFEM temp. I'm gonna K return again here. Play temp, pass, and hold. I guess we could have just held Consign for Ophelia instead. Put a pause on end step. Dismember. And pass. Draw. Need some action now is the only problem. And that is not that. Pass. Yeah, so I do wonder if maybe holding up the Consign would have been better. Vindicate. Rude. Draw. Rumble. Null Drifter or Mycospawn? We'll go Mycospawn. And pass, hold up Consign. Bog Trawler. Do I care to consign the trigger? I'm gonna say no, but if this is the best play they have, it might not be a bad idea. Target me, of course. I'm gonna consign this, as strange as this sounds. I think this is a desperation play. And pass, and land. Other consign. Go E-temp, and pass, and hold the consign. Attacking, passing, E-temp. Is there a reason to play the E-temp right now? Probably not. We'll hold. Ophelia. The question then becomes, what does Ophelia flicker? Solitude. Myco Spawn down. Evoke. I imagine if I flickers the Bog Trawler then. Yes. Again, this seems like a desperation play. I'll take the 2. End step. Consign to memory. Ah, shit. Yeah, didn't consider having to replicate. I should have. Shit. If I had... Rumble. Yep, that was a mistake. I didn't think about that. 2, 3, 4, 5, 7. Cyrus, 7 deaths it is then. Well, certainly not the end of the world, but definitely a bit frustrating that I made that misplay. There's no reason for me not to replicate. I just didn't, right? And pass. And pass. It did work out, I suppose, but exercise, ward pays 7, down to 9. That was the worst case scenario. Because, yeah, we would have been able to sweep. Even if they would have even interrupted, let's say, the Sire, they wouldn't have had Felia and the Bog on board. So yeah, no, like it did matter. I say it didn't matter, but no, it still did. Because we would be taking far less damage now. Yeah. Damn. So now we're taking 9 down to 3. And our board got swept. Or not board, but our yard got cleared out. There's an Overlord. Yeah. Perhaps a Solitude is probably right. Returns Felia. Interesting. Draw. Yeah, that's a prime example where that misplay cost me dearly. Shit. Yep, I made a sloppy misplay. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. I was like, well, it's Blink. What are they going to do? Counter? Mana Tithe me? Nope, even Interrupter. I honestly just forgot that that was something they played and something for me to play around. Even then, like, I think in that moment with what Consign was one of my last 2 cards in hand, if I'm not mistaken, there is no reason for me not to replicate at least once. Yeah, so straight up misplay. We'll keep. And this is a turn 3 kicked Myco spawn. Draw. Sprawl for red. And pass. Yeah, I think just general lesson learned there is like anytime you could replicate, you probably just should. Even if it's not, like, you don't necessarily see a reason to, right? World Breaker would be able to hit the return. Yes, we'll go World Break. Do we want to play the Temple? There's no reason to play the Temple. Actually, I guess there is a reason if they were to interact with the spawn. Whereas if they interact with the Temple and just the Temple, then we can still kick the Myco spawn the following turn. You have the White Orchid. Emperor Bones is fine. That takes the K return. Does mean we no longer have the ability to sweep, unfortunately. But things are going to be looking rough for them. Go to the Shouty Backstreet. We go for another E-Temp or for an Ugin Lab? I think we go for an Ugin Lab. An Imprint Drift. 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. That way if we draw into an Ugin, we can cast it. Flooded Strand for planes. Overlord of the Belmerk. We can get rid of that. Grabs the Solitude, only choice. Grabs the Sowing Myco Spawn. No attacks. Trigger. And draw. Forest. In that case, let's start with an attack. Down to 16. Forest. And we'll exile the Overlord of the Belmerk. It could be right to have gone after their lands, but we'll see. There's the Solitude. They could E-Fem. And there's the E-Fem. Up to 28. Fetch the Flooded Strand for Gala Shrine, Shock to 13. Emperor Bones will adapt. They get the Sowing Myco spawn. That's fine. We'll take the 7 down to 21. I've already played a land for turn, so I think I'll just put a pause on end step then. The only reservation I have of playing this Null Drifter, of course, is the fact that it's going to get hit by the Solitude. I will still, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Maybe it's better for me to actually just draw first and then see if we want to play the Drifter. Another Karn. Yeah, Karn right now kind of feels a little lackluster. Cast. Draw 2. Another Null Drifter. I'll play the Stomping Grounds tapped and pass. Like I said, Null Drifter will get hit again with the Solitude. Not the end of the world, though, is annoying. We're still basically Divination, gain 4 life. And mitigate 3 damage on top of which. Witch Blessed, tapped. We'll take the 4. Takes the Consign. Draw. Sowing Myco spawn. 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 minus 4 is 7. So yes, we can kick. One, two, three, four. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes. Go after the Witch Blast. Don't want them flickering that if I can help it. Go for an E-Temp. Play Ugin Lab. No Imprint. And Cash Drifter. Draw 2. Alright, then Chrysalis and Rumble is nice. We'll pass. You have more Ephems. 2. There's Felia, which can flicker the Solitude, of course. Emperor Bones. And Bone scoops it up. Alright, we'll take the win. Alright, well, we at least redeemed ourselves after punting game 2. With that said, we'll be back for match 5. Alright, and we're back for match 5 on the draw for game 1. I'll keep this. I'd like to draw into an untapped land if possible. Fetch, Bloodstained Mire, Watery Grave Shock for a Thoughtseize. I mean, Talisman of Impulse, probably the best grab here. It would slow me down at least by a turn, but nothing here is necessarily good for you. Grabs the Ugin. Okay. Interesting choice. So I need to draw into another 7-mana value spell. Yeah, not really sure that's the right move on their part. You have a force, you do not. Now, if you draw into an untapped land, we can go Soin Myco Spawn. K return's not bad. Oh, Bajuka Bog, target you. And pass. We'll hold up the K return. Fetch the Scouting Tarn. Undercity Sewers. Consider. Consider would suggest that this might be a Oculus build then. Sure enough, there it is. Next question is, do they have it on Earth? Counterspell. There's on Earth. I do want to get this K return into Yard. This way they can't force it. Pass. Triggers. They did miss their land. No, did they miss their land drop? Was I on the draw into play? On the draw they did miss their land drop. That's relevant. Two, 6. So I think we'll go Ugin Lab then. Imprint Emrakul. And pass. One, two, three, 4. So we need to draw into what? We'll take the 5 down to 13. Trigger Oculus. Chrysalis. Unfortunately, we don't have a green source, or rather another source. I'm going to attempt to resolve, let's see here. 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, a soul land. Resolve KGC, question mark? Do you have a counterspell? There's the counterspell. We'll pass. No attacks. Thought Scour. Oh, Thought Scour. Thought it was like the Mill 5 one. I'll go to blocks. Block the manifest creature. Down to 6. There's a Psychic Frog. I'm surprised they didn't flip it. Seize hits Karn. Most likely. Hits Chrysalis. 3 types in yard. 4, 5, 6, 7. Fatal Push. Huh. Well then. So they're thinking that we can't kill the manifest creature. I will... oh, yeah, so this is still fine. I'll call their bluff. We have EE, but did they have a force? Sprawl does nothing. Karn resolve? Karn resolves. Minus Karn. Yes. For engineered explosives? EE for 0. EE for 0. And pass. And pass. So I'm not dead yet unless you have a Bowmaster. Well, I should shut my damn mouth. Alright. Damn. So that is Oculus, lost for game 1. Let's move on to game 2. So we'll want Jailer, Dismember. Can cut the Gemstone, cut the Ghost Quarter to KGC, and go from there. Oh, that was funny. Finally bringing in Consigned to Memory, Harbinger of the Seas. Probably need to heal Spellbomb as well for that Emrakul. Yeah. But I think we can manage. Soulless Jailer will slow them down if they go for the Unearth plays, which is nice. Other than that, I'm trying to think of what our outs were there. I mean, our outs really were just we needed the draw into some lands earlier, and we were just whiffing hard. On the play for game 2, I'll keep. We draw into a 7-mana value spells a turn 2 Karn or Sowing Mycospawn. Well, that is granted that this Utopia Sprawl resolves. You have a force. You do not. For red, we'll pass. And pass. Blue to Delta, no fetch. Holding up a Consign, potentially. Play the Rainforest. And cast a Talisman. Fetch. This will be a Spell Snare. Shock Watery Grave, and... Spell Snare. Yep. I will pass. Do they have a land for turn? Terrific Springs, Bolt. End step fetch for a Hedge Maze. Trigger. Yeah, that lab would have been nice. Or the talisman, rather. Did we pitch the lab? I think so. We could have a consigned temple. I'm half tempted to try and force through Karn, but I mean, know it's going to get eaten by counterspell. Well, let's go temple and do a non-kicked Mycospawn. Actually, let's do it this way. Do you have a consigned memory? You do. We'll pass in full. At least this way we're able to hold up Dismember. We'll hold up the Dismember. There's a Swamp and Harbinger of the Seas. Put a pause on end step. I will Dismember the Harbinger. And draw. Sire 7 deaths. Let's first see if Karn resolves. Karn does resolve. The next question becomes, do I play it safe and go for a Tormod's Crypt? Or do I go for a Liquid Metal Coating? I think it's safer for me to go for a Tormod's Crypt. Cast Tormod's Crypt. The alternatively, I guess, could have gone with a Chalice on one. I'm going to go Ugin Lab and imprint Sire just to insulate it from a Thoughtseize. And pass. There's a Frog. Frog is fine. Passing. And draw. Talisman. Minus KGC. 2, 4, 6. Unfortunately short for the leveler. But we do have access to EE. Does EE resolve, or do you have a consign? So, funny enough, I could have done something about that. If I had paid one more, would have had an impact. It means we wouldn't have been able to play the Talisman after is the only downside. We'll play the Talisman. We're up to 5. The question now becomes, when do I Tormod's Crypt? At Karn. Karn takes the hit. Draw a card. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If we draw into an Ugin, we'd be a bit remiss. But I think we do return the Sire. Son of a... Alright, well, let's cast the Sire's 7 Deaths. It's likely to eat a counterspell. Yes. We do now need to Tormod's Crypt. And pass. Because otherwise they'll be able to just cast the Oculus. Thoughtseize hits the Ugin, yeah. Hit me for 1. Pitches the Oculus, which means you have the Unearth. Yep. Haven't seen a single K command. Rumble's good though. Do you have a force? No force, but we do find the Emrakul. 5. I mean, I think we just have to grab Emrakul. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Do you have the consign? Our turn, comrade? Shit. There's deciding whether they counter the body or the trigger. Yeah, I mean, it's right to counter the body. You take control of your turn for what it's worth. Another consign. Wild. At least I guess I can counter the trigger of the frog if I attack me? Is that even right, though? Another frog. Like, I can pitch the frog to the frog. I can pitch the Thought Scour to the frog. Right now, how much damage is on board? 5, 7, 9. 9 plus 4 is 13, so I'm dead. Huh. Let's start. Target player mills 2 cards, draws a card. Start by Thought Scour. Finds an Oculus. Well, that's the worst case scenario there. Again, I can pitch all 3. That just bumps you up to 5, up to 6, 11, 13, so I'm dead. Yeah, I don't think there's an out here. No. I'm just trying to... As I can look at this 7 ways to Sunday, but I don't think it matters. I think we do lose. I think, okay, well, let's do one last Hail Mary. Go to combat. Attack a frog. Trigger on the stack. Well, I would like to counter that. We need to draw. Finds a Consider. I'll pay for the Consider. Surveil 1 to Yard. Draw. Draws into another consign. Yeah, and we concede. He played through routes, but just could not get there. And I'm trying to think we could have... The only thing that I could have done differently, right, would have been if I would have paid an extra mana for the EE. If I had done that, then I would have not been able to get hit by the spell snare. Like, that would have been a 3,000%, like, 3,000 IQ play to do that. A play around specifically spell snare, where they likely still had the consign in hand, so yeah. As I say all the time, sometimes win some, sometimes lose some. As far as the overall league is concerned, still pretty solid. I can't complain that much. We ended up, what, 3-2 at the end of 5. So league results pretty good. Can't complain there. As far as our losses are concerned, we won against Affinity, Amulet Titan, which is always a solid time. I think the only loss that I can really sit here and go, we made a mistake, was game 2 of Blink, where I did not replicate the consign. Had I done so, he would have been in a much better position, should have ended it in 2, so that's my mistake there. But other than that, I mean, we kind of just lost a variance, or just, you know, our opponent had the answers to what we were playing. So sometimes win some, sometimes lose some. Overall, another solid league. I'll be bringing this list in tomorrow to an RCQ, so excited to see how it performs there out in the wild. But as always, if you guys did enjoy today's video, please do consider hitting the like button. Comment down below if you did see any lines that I missed, any mistakes that I made, or any general feedback. It is always appreciated. For as much as I hope that y'all learn from me in both my success and failures, I hope I can learn from you all as well. Last but not least, if you have reached this point in the video and haven't already, please do consider hitting the subscribe button, as we're getting closer and closer to our next goal of 1,000 subscribers. Which at that point, sorry, I had like a dial-up moment, which at that point we'll be able to start monetizing these videos and saving up towards a streaming PC so I can stream live over on Twitch. In the meantime, though, if you do want to support me monetarily, you can do so over my Patreon, where you can get early access to these YouTube videos and any updates that I make to my deck guides. With that being said, though, folks, I'll see y'all next time. Bye-bye!